Greg Taylor was trending on X last night, and you mentioned, Keith, about McGregor getting a lot of stick. I thought Greg Taylor's coming in for a power of stick that he just doesn't deserve, really. And I think he got a little bit unlucky with the first goal. And as we've said many times now, you're up against one of the best front fours in European football.
Yeah, for whatever reason, for a variety of reasons, Greg Taylor's just is always going to be, for as long as he's at Celtic, a guy that Celtic fans seem to kind of tolerate, not much more.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. He's been a terrific player for Celtic, and I think what he does, the way he plays that inverted role, adds that extra body in midfield. He's absolutely superb at it. He was really unlucky that Elise managed to get the break of the ball on that occasion. You've then got to factor in this finish that Mick was talking about, which is just utterly ridiculous. You can't blame Greg Taylor for that. People are saying, well, he should have showed him on the outside. Yeah, I get that. I'd like to see you try when Elise's running at you and the balance that guy's got to go one way or the other. It was just unfortunate. I think Greg Taylor's biggest problem is that his name's not Keiran Tierney. And that's always been the case, and even more so now that, Keiran Tierney will be back in his old man on a few months.
There was a lot of people, Mick, saying last night that, if only we'd get Keiran Tierney over the line, that first goal doesn't go in. But that's incredibly harsh, I think.
Yeah, but a fair point. I mean, I also think Kyogo's a big miss last night.
Yeah, that's probably more of a valid point.
Especially when you see the last 15 minutes when you actually pressed Bayern high up the pitch. If you had Maida on the flank and Kyogo in the middle doing the same, interesting. And I think he was a big miss last night. Taylor, I think, has been a good servant. I think most people know he's been a good servant. Listen, he's out of contract. He's not signing a new contract. So I'm not saying you're going to be kind of fair game about it, but people are not going to be showering you petals when you're kind of heading the way out, apparently. But he's been a great servant. I think most sensible fans will realise he's been a good servant, especially domestically. I think at this European level, there has been moments when it's been a bit tough. There's been certain games when it's been difficult for him, but it's been difficult for a lot of players at that level. Mm-hmm. So he's not alone in that category. I think he's been a really solid Celtic signing, great value for money over the years.
I'd go further than that. I'd say his ability to play that inverted fullback role and to go in beside McGregor and give Celtic another body in there, I think that's been key to Celtic's progression and to the way they've matured into this competition. Because we were talking about it last night. In Dortmund that night, you had two fullbacks bombing on. You had Engels and Hatate playing 15, 20, 30 yards in front of Callum McGregor at points. And it basically left Callum McGregor and two centre-halves. And Dortmund just destroyed them, came at them in numbers. And there was nothing anybody could reasonably expect them to do about it. But I felt that after that night, although Brendan said that it wasn't going to change things, I think one of the key things that he did realise was, right, okay, we need to get a bit more protection in there. We need to be tighter. And I think the role that Greg Taylor has played in that has been a huge part in making Celtic look a whole lot more solid and robust at this level. I really do. And I'll be interested to see. I'm sure that Keiran Tierney can play that position, even if Mikel Arteta isn't quite as convinced. But I'll be interested to see it, because I think in practice next season in the Champions League, Keiran Tierney is going to have to do something really similar to the role that Greg Taylor has been performing.
I think the tough thing for Greg Taylor is that I think he's been a real fundamental part of Celtic when they've got the ball. And even in Europe, like you say, he can come and play that inverted role. He keep possession. But we look at the amount of wingers in the last 3 or 4 years that put in front of him and who have absolutely flourished. And that's not by coincidence. Whether it's Abada, Maida, Jota, Kuhn, whoever plays in front of him have flourished because of the way he plays. So I think you got to accept that. What I do think is under siege, he's maybe not as strong as a kind of under siege defender. Great in possession, great going forward. Going the other way, it sometimes gets a bit tough. Mm-hmm. Whereas we talked about Tierney, I think Tierney can be that under siege defender as well. I think he can defend. He loves a tackle, Keiran Tierney. We all know he's great at bombing on and he can play a variety of different attacking positions as well. But he also loves a tackle and can defend. And maybe that's the area at this level. It's tougher, but it's tough. I say it's tough for everyone.
For every Celtic player,
this is not just a Greg Taylor thing. It's a Celtic.
No, and I find it a bit unfair that there's so much time and effort spent on over analysing Greg Taylor's contribution. I think Greg Taylor can hold his head up really high in terms of looking back over what he's achieved at Celtic and the progress that he's made. Considering when he came to the club, I don't think many people would have thought this boy from Kilmarnock was going to end up playing as many games, winning as many honours, playing such a crucial part in it all. So I think the Celtic fans should appreciate, and I'm sure the vast majority do,